Hello investors and welcome back to Just Renting Stocks. Let's get straight into it. BBIG, that's what we're going to be talking about during this video, and also the Cryptyde spinoff, those levels, those critical levels in which people are going to add to their position, and where is this going to find support? After the sell-off yesterday, it met some resistance. Let's make sure we take a look at the technical charts. I want to take a look at Cryptyde too, because if you stay in this play, BBIG, you're going to get a portion of that business. So what does that mean? What does that timing look like? Let's not delay any further. Let's get started. Distribution ratio, spinoff, 1 share. Old information, but for those of you that don't quite understand this, 1 share of Cryptyde common stock for every 10 shares of Vinco Ventures or BBIG common stock. So if you have 10 shares of BBIG right now, you'll get 1 share of the Cryptyde common stock. Now its expected number of outstanding shares of Cryptyde common stock is going to be approximately 19 million. Upon completion of the spinoff, holders of BBIG will continue to maintain their existing ownership of BBIG. Shareholders of Vinco, as of the record date of distribution, and that's what everybody's waiting on. They're waiting on the news drop so we can work out all these details, will be granted shares in the new standalone company. So you can see TYDE, it's already set up on stock tweets. They have it set up on Fintel. All of that momentum caused this rush into the play this week, this last week, and that's what's caused this upward momentum, this excitement, rush back because of that dividend. And there has been a 60-day quiet period. So as that quiet period is lifted, and that lifted a couple of weeks ago, people are expecting news to drop. They expected it this week. Now that we haven't seen news this week, it might get pushed to next week. No telling. There's definitely some people taking profits. And if you look at the volume, it's really important to understand what's going on in the market. Yesterday, people took profits. They moved to, some people moved to SoFi. Retail investors went over there and they entered into a position. I talked about this on the Discord at $13. This was a buy if you didn't get in at that $12 price. Really hard to chase SoFi down. It just kept dropping, but people got into that play. We also have Ford that's sitting up here on the top of the charts, and you can see number 6 is BBIG. Peloton is up here for losing a significant amount of their share. They're going to be shutting down. Let's just take a quick look so we can respect the rest of the market and understand where some of this money might be going. Rivian, that investment that Ford did in Rivian, I mean, it's really going to look good on their books. That's Ford. Let's get straight to Peloton. It crashed because they are going to stop producing bikes for 2 months and treadmills for 6 weeks. But really important to understand, this fell below the company's September 2019 IPO share price of $29. I believe this was in the $24 range. All right, let's shift back over to BBIG. Cryptyde investor presentation. Most of you have went through this, but I just wanted to point out one thing before we get into the technical analysis where we're going to be talking about price points. Now, 5 lines of business. You could look at it this way. They're all related, I would say, somewhat, except for this last one, Ferguson Container. So you've got NFT, you've got cryptocurrency, you've got metaverse, you've got all of these. And do you think there's a lot of talk in the retail space about holding on to this play and how excited they are? Or is everyone more leaning towards you're only in this for the dividend? People are in this for the split. So if you go in and look at this, you may hear some people talk about this is going to be a phenomenal business. You know, I'm looking to get in once they actually split, spin off, go public. So make your own determinations, but there could be some profit taking once this split occurs. And you can see maybe there might be a dump on this. There could be a spike. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out. But you could see in the NFT, all of these other spaces are kind of related. This new plant currently under development for the Ferguson Containers, this is the one that really stood out to me to be a standalone business that you could possibly find some financial information about to kind of get excited and say when that first earning calls comes, you know, can I get excited about the overall lines of business? Do I see these financials playing out rather well? And the revenue, the annual revenue here, just everything I researched on Cryptyde just didn't really get me personally excited. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Now let's take a look at the technical charts, because I've got this in the 30-minute chart. I've got that resistance line up here at $5.23. So what I wanted to do is just take a look at some of these levels of support historically. Now, these are based on this uptrend that just happened this last week. So now it's going to come back, and do these levels of resistance turn into support in the future? That's one thing you want to look at, and that's what I did here. I'm using these levels of resistance to see if they turn into support. And right now you can see there is a market sell-off towards the end of the day, but this started selling off back here when it just kept hitting. I think for 2 days it kept trying to get past, I would say, 523, and it just could not get past and close in the 30-minute chart over that. And after 2 days of finding some resistance, and I believe a lot of people found buying opportunities under $5 the last time that this ran up, and that's why you're starting to see some of that resistance. And there's a lot of other speculation as to why it can't get over 523, but I would say that is a healthy line of resistance. So why do I have so many channels built in? There's 1, 2, 3 different channels built in here, and why do I have it green if it's dropping below this? These are the lines I want to watch to see if it does provide support. So I'm looking for it. Does it hold up on 386? Can I get 3? And how do I know it's holding up? The way that I know it's holding up is I get 3 consecutive green candles, and you want to see some volume. Number one, we don't have volume today, and it's a mix. Yes, 3 consecutive green candles, that's very bullish, but it isn't holding. So you're seeing that sell off, you're seeing that drop off. So right now I would say that this is in a downtrend. It's cooling down, having ran up to the extent that it did. This is one that you have to watch, I would say, in the 5-minute, 30-minute chart. You could go back between those two. But if you do go into the 5-minute chart, this is where you're going to see that there does seem to be support when it crosses or hits this 30. You can see these points. There is a little bit of momentum in the 5-minute chart when it does cross this 30 RSI indicator. And you could see that also true with this green candle here in the 5-minute chart. So the 5-minute, 30-minute, you probably want to go back and forth between those two charts. That's just my take on what's happening now. And I believe it's supported by the Bollinger Band, which is showing you that when it deviates down into this 2 standard deviations, what we're looking for is a volatile stock that has had significant trading volume. And technical analysis can be really tough when these trades are happening like they are with such high volume. It typically goes outside of any kind of pattern. But you can see as volume decreases, it should get a little bit more predictable and on the downside. You can also look at your options to see how are they trending. Are we buying more puts? And that's what you could see on January 21st. More puts, and this is a short range time frame. But if you go out just another week, what kind of put call volume do you see in the charts? I would take a look to see where those are trending, but you can see that there are people buying the 450 puts, and there's a pretty decent volume of the $4 and 450 puts. You have to continue to monitor this one. If this video helped you out, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.